Okay, Friday afternoon and I'm in the States. The Quitchy Gorge to be completely accurate. Out for a walk on a chilly Friday afternoon here. I've been here for a couple of days and I've had a chance to reflect on Monday's events. It was a game of two halves, as they say. I'd gone out for the weekend with the intention of staying out of trouble and finishing, which is something I historically have had trouble doing. Qualifying was okay, plumb in the middle, 15th, kept it all together, no spins, took it steady, and I was quite happy with that. Race one, best race I've had for ages. Still not taking any chances. Unfortunately the GoPro didn't work, so I have no record of it, but I only overtook when I was over, I don't know, 70% sure I was going to make it past. No 50-50s into corners because I just didn't want to get tangled up, which is reflected in my sort of lap times in the earlier part of the race. My quickest lap coming at the end when I was racing Alex Jones. Only had two little moments during the race, both caused by getting past back markers who on both occasions seemed to push me wide, but I finished ninth, second in class. Couldn't have wished for a better race. And race two should have been the same. I'll play the footage in a minute of the whole race, however short it was, and you can see from the first lap that, again, I didn't take any chances overtaking. Only overtook when I was confident I could get by without a problem. Neil's spin in front of me seemed to be well out of the way. I thought he would spin to the outside, so I headed for the inside on pretty much the racing line, accelerating, thinking I'd get by, and then all of a sudden he whipped across the track. I braked and tried to go to the left hand side of it, but as you can see I didn't quite make it. The impact itself wasn't all that huge, but the culmination of, or the events together with Neil backing into me when I was on my side, and then the other car bumping into him, just rolled me on my roll bar. One of those things, you know, pretty much a racing incident. It can happen to anybody. Frustrating. The car is in a bit of a mess. I haven't even taken the back bodywork to be honest, but the front suspension is broken in some sort of way. Doesn't look too serious. Steering arm and ball joint. Rear suspension, the shocks broke, which is frustrating because that was pretty much brand new. The sandwich plate that holds the engine and box onto the chassis, that's ripped out at the bottom so that the engine is flapping around a bit. The engine itself ran upside down for some time, so there will have been no oil pressure. So regardless of whether it starts or not, it'll almost certainly not run for very long, I wouldn't have thought, so that's going to take a rebuild. So it's a case of when I get home, taking it apart in the workshop and just seeing how bad it is. Then I'll have to make some decisions. There is another fly in the ointment, in so much as I got pulled over by the chief scrut after the first race because my roll bar extension, put on at the behest of the then chief scrutineer Dallas, who okayed it afterwards, doesn't meet Blue Book regs. So I've got two options. Either I have to change my seating position and get laid back a bit more to bring my head the required distance below the existing roll hoop, or I've got to cut the whole thing out and put a continuous roll hoop in. Option A is the easier one, but still not all that easy. So when I get home next week, I'll get the car in the garage and then make some decisions. My 4-meeting long season that I had planned isn't going to be that long anymore. I won't be out for Brands, that's definite. Mondello's highly unlikely now. I might be able to get something now together for Silverstone. It's frustrating because the car felt so good. No hint of the understeer that I'd suffered from at Brands and Donington last year. Back may have been a little bit soft, but I got a stiffer spring to try and solve that. And I think on the whole I drove pretty well. Never mind. Video to come of the second race, what there is of it. And I'm going to enjoy the rest of my week here in the States, and when I get back, I'll be back in the garage and I'll keep you all posted. Bye!
we are, everything's okay.